This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 8/29/22, and it's show number 419. So markets are struggling again today, Nick.
Yeah, the markets are struggling again this morning. As you know, we had a Friday plunge, basically a crash. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down by more than 1,000 points last Friday. The decline was broad-based. And really nothing was spared. The baby was thrown out with the bathwater. But what was the key there was the volume was heavy. And that's something we have not seen for quite a while. But if you look at even the spiders, which is what I like to follow very closely, we traded over 100 million shares. We haven't done that. I think you probably got to go back to June. So we haven't traded over 100 million shares. We've been averaging in the month of August around 50 million shares a day, maybe 55 million, which is really peanuts. But Friday's decline happened on volume. It happened after the Jay Powell speech. As you know, we talked on Friday, but really the selling never let up, and it went right into the closing bell. And that's a major reversal day in my book.
All right, and it's continuing today.
It is continuing today. Today you do have a much more subdued decline. Generally, after a 90% down day, which we had on Friday, you'll normally get some kind of a bounce. Today we gapped lower, and the markets can't even get out of their own way. So, I believe the selling has just begun here. There will be bounces. All rallies have bounces. Nothing goes down in a straight line, as you know. But this looks like the second half kickoff, if you ask me, of this bear.
All right, second half kickoff. How many halves are there going to be?
Well, there'll probably be just 2 halves, but. And then you'll get, some kind of a counter trend, rally or even a minor bull of some sorts. I don't predict all that far out, but what I like to do is I've been telling my group, I said, hey, stay tuned. Don't, the rally is, I caught the rally from the bottom. I knew it was going to occur. And now it's very toppy. And I told my membership, wait for the high volume reversal. When that happens, that's the kickoff, and I think we just starting at the second half now.
Interesting. So, well, there's still some strength in energy, though, right?
There is some strength in energy. In fact, that's the strong part of the market today. So, you have crude oil trading higher by nearly 3%, back to $95 a barrel. You have the oil and gas exploration ETF up almost 2%. The XLE, which is the Select Spider Energy Fund up 2%, Exxon, Conoco, Chevron, BP, they're all higher today. And then if you look at the oil services names, they're all pretty strong today. So if energy was down today, we'd see this market down a lot more. And it's a struggling market right now. So just think about it. Energy probably used to account for, back in the day, 13, 14%. It probably accounts for 8 or 9% of the S&P. So just think about that. If energy was down today, this market would be down a heck of a lot more right now.
Interesting. So they're catching a bid, and it makes sense. Gold is up as well.
Yeah, you have gold a little bit higher today. It's drifting a little bit here. Gold has been, very, very choppy intraday, but we've seen the precious metals. I've been seeing money going into precious metals now, even with the strong dollar. So that just tells me the flight to hard assets is here. So people are going to start to realize shortly, hey, I'm going to get my money out of dollars now, and I'm going to start to put it into something I could, drop on my foot or on my toe and feel some pain. They want a hard asset. And I love the gold miners here. I think silver is very, very attractive here as well. And, this is, I think, the shift that's taking place. It doesn't happen in a day or get realized, but it happens slowly, and I think it is happening. It's underway.
All right. Well, from your mouth. And of course, we look at Bitcoin, a really interesting number today. Interesting when you look at the daily chart on Bitcoin, it hit 19,570 and bounced off of there. So it's still that
well,
you know,
it's still back at that December 2017 pivot, right? So that has been the big marker. You know, if you go back to that major high back in December of 2017, you know, that level is still being defended some, you know, to some degree here. But just remember, the larger time frame is more important. That dictates everything. And that trend is down. And ultimately, as you know, Kerry, we've talked about it on here. I've been saying it now till I'm blue in the face. We're going to go sub 14,000 on this Bitcoin. And, you know, I still really feel that way. So there's nothing in the charts telling me I have to change my mind on that. And, you know, Bitcoin, it can, you know, bounce around this 20,000 level. This is still a big area. But the charts are saying, you know, the next dip here, we're going to probably see this thing go. You know, I would probably even say 13,000 at this stage. The longer you consolidate, the lower you'll go.
All right. Well, that's fascinating, and it's fascinating watching it because so many times it's bounced off that 2017 high now, and it's you know, it finds a little bit of strength there, and it carries on. And like you say, though, the overall chart is looking really negative.
Yeah, the bigger picture is down, but it lives to fight another day. You know, so sometimes things like Bitcoin right now, if they catch a real good bid, they could go back to 25, 26,000. I wouldn't ever rule that out. We have not exceeded or broken the low pivot, which was made, I believe, on June 30th at around 18,525. I do believe when that does happen with some volume, you know, you'll probably take the stairs right down to, you know, 13,500, even 13,000 at this stage, because we've been looking at a consolidation now since June. I remember the big sell-off in Bitcoin occurred on June 13th. That was that last big breakdown where it went from 30,000 down to around 22,500. And then we found a little bit of a low on June 30th, which was 18,500. And you've just been in that range. You know, you haven't broken above it. You haven't broken below it. You've been in that range. And we call that in the business consolidation. And when you consolidate a down move, you're looking to go lower. So it's, you know, it's pretty cut and dry. Eventually, this thing's on its way down to, you know, probably sub 14,000. I'm thinking now even 13,000.
Wow. All right. Won't surprise me in the least. And that's it for today. Make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com. See how he's beaten the indexes for decades. The Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, and at Kerry Lutz. Your emails are welcome. KL@kerrylutz.com. Nick, we'll talk to you on Wednesday unless something major happens before then.
Sounds good, Kerry.